Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to round 6 of Queensland Premier Rugby, the Hospital Challenge Cup for 2018. My name is Jay Staunton, and this afternoon we are live from CHIPSY Oval for South's Ladies' Day as the Magpies play host to Bond University. Souths have a perfect record so far this season, going 4 from 4 and sit atop the competition ladder. Bond, on the other hand, have slipped to last place despite a brilliant, hard-fought win over UQ in round 3. Today's match provides Bond with a tough challenge, but can the boys from the GC, led by workhorse captain Ty Ford, rise to the challenge? Remember folks, Queensland Rugby has also increased the live coverage of Premier Rugby in 2018, with all 4 matches streamed live and free via redsrugby.com.au. Now, to kick things off this arvo, let's check in with Channel 9 sports reporter Michael Atkinson with this week's episode of The Breakdown.
G'day rugby fans, welcome to another episode of The Breakdown. Well, the weather might be starting to cool down, but the action on the field is only just starting to heat up. Let's take a look at who sizzled and who fizzled in round 5. East retained the Bunter Bowl and claimed the Rick Tyrrell Cup with a big win over Sunnybank. Jeeps returned to form by dominating Norths at HUGH Courtney Oval. Souths held on in a nail-biter over Wests in the match of the round. And Brothers, they blew Bond off the park at Jack Ross Oval. Well, there was no shortage of highlights from those 4 games, and it was really hard to pick just one, so I've picked 2. The first one comes from South's flying winger Amori Wangavalangi after fielding a crossfield kick from Quade Cooper inside the Magpies' own half.
2 before, and it didn't work out well. Cooper is going what happened before. Wangavalangi's out wide, the bounce is fortuitous. Hello for a new one. Here's Wangavalangi. He's opening up the stride. Wow. Catches to the left. How you doing, Wangavalangi? He's under the post for his second.
That bloke certainly knows how to score a try, just like this next player, Varasa Mataitini. With victory out of reach, the man they call Vuki certainly wasn't giving up. Wowie, I swear Vuki gets faster and faster every year. Can he do it again this weekend? We'll soon find out. Round 6 kicks off on Saturday with the Eagles taking on UQ at HUGH Courtney Oval. Match of the round is the Souths clash with Bond at CHIPSY Oval for the Magpies' annual Ladies' Day. Jeeps will return to YOKU Road to collar the Bulldogs, and Sunnybank are having their annual Ladies' Day as well when they host Brothers at OLDMAC Oval. This weekend also sees the women's competition return. For fixture details, head to redsrugby.com.au. The action never stops in the Queensland Premier Rugby competition, with games moving back to Saturday this weekend. Remember, if you can't get down to your local club, you can catch all 4 games streamed live and free via redsrugby.com.au. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting grassroots rugby, and make sure you catch all the action to check out the stars of tomorrow today.
Yeah, that's good gas from Atco right there. Once again, good afternoon, footy fans, and welcome to Reds TV's live coverage of round 6 of Queensland Premier Rugby. This afternoon, we're bringing you all the action from CHIPSY Oval, the home of the Souths Magpies, who are hosting their annual Ladies' Day as they take on Bond University. My name is Jay Staunton, and joining me in the commentary box today is former Souths captain Paul Brown and one of Sunnybank's finest, Michael Chettle. Lads, how are we doing?
Mate, good there, Jay. It's good to be back here after making my debut last week, so glad I got the call back this week back here at CHIPSY bud.
Good afternoon, Jay Ball. Good afternoon, Paul. Yeah, it's great to be here on a Saturday afternoon, and couldn't be better conditions this afternoon.
It's an absolute perler, isn't it? And Paulie B, we'll kick things off with you, mate. So last week, as you said, you were in the commentary box with us, and we saw South actually had to adjust mid-game after losing Quade Cooper before the half. What did you see in that second half against West without QC actually steering the ship there?
Well, I think what I did see was that they had to simplify their game. Obviously, QC brings a lot in terms of his arsenal, and now that they've had the whole week to build up without QC, I reckon that they should be in good stead heading into the game this afternoon.
100%, he's a big loss, but I'm sure you guys had the cattle there. Now, Chets, we saw in round 3, Bond knocked off Uni at home for the first time in over 2 years, but since then they've had 2 really tough matches. How big is today's challenge for the lads from the Goldie?
Yeah, firstly, Jaber, I'm quite surprised that they knocked off last year's premiers in the bottom of the table, so it's quite surprising. But last couple of weeks have been pretty tough for them. Look, they're going to have to meet the South boys up front, and I think really dominating. Ty Ford needs to step up and dominate the breakdown. Mate, I'm really looking forward to it. I reckon we could find a bit of a boil over today.
Who knows? Look, as you said, they have knocked off the reigning premiers and uni, so so they definitely have the ability to be able to do so. Now, Paulie B, just one last thing. South Ladies Day, how big is the event for the club, especially considering you guys have just introduced the women's team this year?
But spot on, and this morning they had their first game today, so it's good to see a lot of people come out to support that. And obviously it's just good recognition for the ladies in our game and what they do, and behind the scenes, it's a good way to celebrate their involvement. So it should be a cracking day today.
100%. If you're ever going to play a blinder, you want to do it on Ladies' Day, that's for sure. So speaking of the women's competition, ahead of today's match, our resident sideline reporter Brendan Sauce Hertel caught up with all the women's sides earlier this week to preview the start of their competition this weekend. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I think the start of our club comp is going to be awesome. Obviously, the clubs are there, been training hard, and on the back of the Super W campaign, I think it's just going to make the Brisbane comp even better. Yeah, we're pretty hungry. Obviously, we did get close to winning it last year, but obviously Sunnybank were the better side, so we'll be looking at fixing up a few things this year and hopefully, go one better. I think it's great. We've got those new clubs, Souths and Norths, coming into the competition. It's obviously a good thing for women's rugby growing in numbers and having a 10-a-side comp for them to start and obviously progress and hopefully move into the 15-a-side in the future.
Oh, everyone's really excited to get into the games. The majority are new to rugby, so everyone's just really keen to get out on the field and play for South. I've always wanted to play rugby, but left it a bit late and rang Redlands last year and played sevens with them. And Souths were starting a new team this year. So I gave them a go, started training with South to get sort of a year's worth of rugby.
The addition of the girls team back into the club has been a massive boost for us, culture-wise, and also providing a good pathway for our junior girls who are building strongly over the last couple of years. So it's great to provide them with the inspiration as well that there is a pathway to state Norths. Our girls are very young and just new to the sport as well, so it's a great introduction to them to play against teams at a similar level and skill to theirs, and to introduce them to the sport in a safer, more friendly way. And it's been good for the girls to play a few trials against the other teams and to get to know the girls and just experience what TANS rugby is all about.
Great stuff by Sauce there. The women's teams are obviously the future of the game, and it's good to see them getting recognition. Now, we do have apparel for the Queensland Reds 2018 kit going on sale now. Go to shop.redsrugby.com.au to get some kit for yourself. Now, boys, as we've said, we are missing Quade Cooper. He is a big loss, but we do have a couple of big names coming back as well. So, Paulie B, for you, who is the player to watch for South?
That's an easy one there, Jay. Probably Teddy Teller. Pops back into that 10 jersey. Massive off-season, and was lucky enough to, spend a bit of time with the Reds, and then ended up playing in the Brisbane 10s competition there, and really, not only just, was another number on the field, but really just made it his own. So off the back of that form, you look to see him dominate out there today and really control proceedings.
100%. I mean, you lose QC, but you pick up someone like Teddy, who's had an absolute whale of a couple of years of late. Now, for you, Chets, who should we keep an eye on for Bonnie?
Well, I think the big one is Mitch Third at fly half, and he's got a new halfback and a new inside centre with him, so his experience from his background of Australian schoolboys, under 20s, his experience has to really direct these boys around the park today. So he would have loved to play against Quade Cooper today, but unfortunately it's against Teddy Teller, so quality opposition.
100%. I mean, you test yourself against the best players. Unfortunately, it's not QC, but it's still a red-hot player in Teddy Teller. Now, before we go any further, a special mention, of course, has to go to our sponsors who support club and grassroots rugby. So the Index Group, South's major sponsor, have been a major sponsor of them for a few years now. Thanks very much for that. And on the other side of the coin, we've got Bruce Linton Jaguar and Land Rover, the major sponsor for Bond Rugby. Now, we'll have a quick look at the team sheets here, and we'll start off with South's Rugby. We'll start with their starting 15. At loosehead prop, we've got Vunipola Fafita. HUGH, new skipper in Alex Casey and tight head Jake Simeon. In the row, we've got Matt Bennett and Sam Von Blankensee. In the back row, the old man himself, Samana Halai-Fanua, Jack Farrell and the new man, Harley Fox. In the halves, a new halves pairing of Nigel Genya and Teddy Teller. On the wings, Super Rugby player Edo Nabuli and Amuri Wangavulangi. In the centres, we've got Raphael, a.k.a. Ralphie Avalu, and Tauta Tasi. And at fullback, Jaden Narmanu. Now we'll flip over to the Bond side and we'll have a quick look at their squad. So at loose head prop, we've got Will Slipper at hooker, club captain Nick Turner and Salisi Manu at tight head. In the second row, Jemison Smith and Callum Ball. In the back row, Petrus Vandenberg, skipper Ty Ford and Luke Papworth. In the halves, we've got a new halfback in Vinnie Quigley taking place instead of Harry Nusafora and Mitch Third, as we just said before. On the wings, Ryan Menzies and Adam Gowder. In the centres, Joey Fiddock and Corbin Kiernan. And at fullback, wearing number 21, as per usual, for some reason, is Pierce Fitzgerald. So, lads, obviously we've got a pretty red-hot team on both sides of the coin there. How do you think we're looking in regards to the match today? As you said, do you think it will be a blowout, or do you think it's going to be a close one, Paulie B?
Well, I think if you look at the history there, Bond have really struggled on the road here at Souths. And, I mean, Chet's was talking about a boil over earlier today, but it could possibly be a boil up.
Who knows? I mean, looking at the ladder here, we could see Souths clearly on top, 4 from 4, 17 points. Jeeps in second, East and Uni rounding out the top 4, and then the remaining teams go Sunnybank Brothers, West, Norths, Bond. So looking at that, it seems as if it is dire. We've got 1 taking on 9, but every team, bar Souths, have actually lost a game. And as we said, Bond have actually beaten Uni thus far. So, Chets, do you think there will be that boil over? Do you think they do have the cattle to be able to do so despite not having Harry Nusafora in the squad?
Oh, to be honest with you, Jabo, I was probably just saying that as a bit of a hit and hope before, to be honest with you. Look, I do honestly think the place on the table will reflect today, but even losing Quade Cooper today, I think home game, great event, South will come home with a few points today.
Yeah, you'd think so. I mean, they do have the points in them. They do like to play that expansive footy. And before we go any further, as we all know, Queensland Rugby is actually bringing all 4 matches of QPR Rugby every round live and for free. So on the other side of the coin, we've got Sunnybank versus Brothers. Boys, who are we packing in that one, do you reckon? Oh,
mate, Sunnybank's conceded nearly 100 points in the last 2 games, and being a Sunnybank man myself, look, I really hope they get up, but Brothers have been pretty red-hot last couple of weeks.
They have. They've got a very young squad, but they are very, very good. So for you, Paulie B, we've got Norths playing host to University out at HUGH Courtney Oval. They did get dusted last week, but Uni are coming off the bye. So what do you reckon? Do you reckon the students will get up there?
No, I think yeah, they will. And I think it could possibly be another T20 cricket match out there at HUGH Courtney Oval. And I hope it's not, because I know that there's some quality players out there at North, so it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds.
It will be interesting. And then the other match we've got is Jeeps versus West, as we see the teams coming out. So 2 of the stronger teams in the competition, Jeeps versus West. The 2 Smith brothers coming back to the front row for Jeeps there. Who are we picking there, Chets? Do you think Jeeps have got it?
Mate, I think it's a flip of a coin, but with the 2 props coming back, the Twins, I think they're certainly out there today.
Yeah, they do play well at YOKU Road, so it'll be interesting to see, but we do have that awesome footy all across the park. So as we see Bond run out of the field, we're just waiting on South to come into the mixer. So, guys, I want to ask you, so I assume we're all backing South to probably get up here as we see them take the field. On the flip side then, Paulie B, what do Bond have to do if they want to get up over the South side?
I think they really need to force the issue with Souths. We've seen last week, if you can really force the issue, make them make uncharacteristic, unforced errors, then they're in the game, play down at the right end, and then go from there.
And just some late news, we've got actually looking at the bench for the Bond University side, you've got Alex Murphy, the Reds player, coming off the bench as a fresh sub, and you've also got Ruben Fuimaono. So you've got some real impact coming off the bench there, Chets. Do you think it might be a battle of the benches come the second half?
Oh, I think the way the coaches use the benches, J-Ball, these days is very, very important. And with the experience from the bench, anything could happen. But, the battle of the benches could be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they're both very experienced squads coming off the bench, but it'll be exciting to see how they actually utilise it. They've got both Mika and Samiti coming off the bench for South, but as I said, Ruben Fuimaono is a couple hundred gamer himself, so, they've got some experience there. So we're just waiting now for the kickoff to come from Bond. It looks like they're obviously doing the kickoff.
Just quickly, J-Ball, the atmosphere down here is sensational. So if you get a chance to come down here down to Southfield, mate, the Ladies' Day is absolutely pumping.
It's absolutely fizzing as we see the kickoff calmly taken by South there as we get the hit up early on. It's good clean ball here from South as Genya dishes it out to Alex Casey. A little high there from the Bond, from the Bond player, but doesn't seem to be called up. Teller playing it loose with a grubber kick through to Jaden Narmanu and knocked on by Ty Ford. And picked up by Wunga Vulangi onto Von Blackensee. So interesting sort of little play there from South. It looks like they're trying to just dab it in behind. And it looks like a knock on there from Ralphie Ivalu. Look, up-tempo stuff already. We saw Jaden Narmanu dropping a grubber straight off the kickoff there, boys. Is that something you would have expected, Paulie B?
Well, I think South have a clear plan too. If they can just get to the 50, that's an exit for them. So whether it's a little grubber or a contestable kick, they'll take it either way.
I was going to say, as an older player, to put your hands in, what are you doing, mate, kicking this time of the day? So,
and we could see there Cam Foley's actually taking the reins today as referee. He'll be laying down the law there at scrum time. So this will be an interesting matchup, I reckon, to be able to see the young front rowers from South going up against Sleacy Manu and co from Bond. And it's already a little bit snarky there in the front row.
On bind, I still need that gap. That's my mark.
Cam Foley, as we said, is already laying down the law at scrum time, so it'll be interesting to see if they do try and push through here or just want to feel him out a little bit.
Chitsy, you think here they'll just hit the midfield and look to go the same way?
I think so, mate. I think, as you were saying before, there's a bit of a distinct game plan of how they're going to get out of their own half.
The feed from the new man, Vinny Quigley. To third. Oh, lays it off, and heavy defence there in the midfield from South. Quigley gets it out to third. Pierce Fitzgerald with the injection from fullback. A bit shaky here from Bond early on, with Ty Ford taking it up into the South's defence. Manu in midfield, the big man, getting some early metres, which is good to see. But not getting many metres past the ad line, and a knock on there from Bond. And Cam Foley's picked it up. Boys, pretty up-tempo from Bond thus far, but weren't really getting over the ad line, were they?
You can see from where they started there, J-Ball, that they went midfield and then they looked to test their South speed around the corner defensively by hitting the far edge there, and then just try to play between the 15 and really didn't go anywhere. The scrum is just on the same spot, just further along the line.
And Chet's, I mean, I'm not sure if you're the scrum specialist everybody makes you out to be, but do you think that there's a team here that may have an advantage at scrum time?
Oh, look, I think when everyone's fresh, I think the experience of Bond might get in there. But the youth and the of South, I just like near the end of the game, I think we'll see a bit more domination in the scrum.
The feed from Nigel Genya. Blindside, Wunga Vulangi. 7 specialists with a chip and chase. Well picked up by Vinny Quigley in cover there. Fitzgerald moving into half. Gets it out to Corbin Kiernan, who looks to get the arms away. Now Will Slipper getting into the half-back role. Good to see. This is composed by Bond thus far. And it looks like Farrell's on that ball, and good clean turnover there by South. Room to attack here now for the boys in black.
They'll shift it.
Ivalu to Teller. Out to Tauta Latasi. There's try time from South, 4 minutes into the game.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, J-Ball. The Bond just took it one phase too far there, and a quick turnover and shift to the left-hand side, and there was simple maths on the left-hand side there.
That's it. I think they really struggled to consolidate and then look for an exit there. And as Chet said, probably played on one too far. Easy turnover, and it really was just a matter of just getting it through the hands, and any one of 5 could have scored, really.
And that's the quality of Queensland Premier Rugby, isn't it? It's gotten so good over the time. If you make one mistake, bang, you get punished.
It can be curtains, it certainly can, and that's the thing, you know. You got the number 8 taking the shot at goal. How good is this?
Yeah. What's going on?
Whoa. This
Harley
is not
Fox.
in the run sheet. Where'd this come from? This is fantastic. There's nothing better than a big fat man taking shots at goal. It's like watching Friday night footy all over again, yeah? This is what you see in Normanby Cup.
Was it scorer's kick or he didn't score, did he? So
I don't know. I think it's just whoever gets the ball first gets to take a shot at goal. But it'll be interesting to see. So Harley Fox is actually a new member to the club as well.
But he is. He's obviously come across it. Obviously great pedigree there. Was Aussie schoolboys captain and then played in the 20s as well. Spent a bit of time in Melbourne and back here in back up here at Brisbane really to try and further his career. I think they had a goal kicking competition on Thursday to see who would take the reins after Jace was ruled out.
He's gotten a fair whack of it, but it is just short from Harley Fox. So not the best shot at goal, unfortunately, but let's just see how he progresses throughout the day. But boys, 5-0 down to South 4 minutes in. Is that a bad sign, do you think? Or do you think Bond could stay in this?
Oh, look, mate, it's early days, obviously, but we go back to a few phases before when we had Nigel Genia and the winger combining on the right-hand side, getting some easy yards, so that is a bit of concern.
And good clean catch there from Matt Bennett's off the kick-off. Smart footy to be able to get that reception. Alex Casey, the new skipper, taking the hit up there. Genia, Tatella, shifts wide with the triple cutout to Jaden Armano, who plugs it into the corner, straight down the throat of Mitch Third, who shifts it infield. It's a big tie forward, their skipper. He's going to have a big match today if they're going to try and get up over this top of the table South outfit. Vinny Quigley clears out to Mitch Third, who drops it on the toe and does find the grass with a smart kick there, touching the sideline, but able to shift it infield. And he's absolutely shanked that. I think, was that Amori Wungan? No, it was Teddy Teller, of all people, unfortunately, shanking it there. So good net gain there by Bond.
Oh, yeah, I think it's a great idea there by Mitch Third, putting it into the back corner and getting it right close to the sideline, mate. Couldn't have done it better myself.
But and that was smart footy there, just the experience showing through from Mitch Third, just to pin him down the corner and look to probably get some points and get a bit of a rumble on here.
Nick Turner with the throw. And they've missed it, picked up by Genia at the back of the line out. With a turnover there. Looked like a couple of knock-ons, but we're good to go. Pierce Fitzgerald, not wearing his normal 21 as per usual, wearing the 15. Good hit up there by Ryan Menzies, taken out, but a high shot there called by Cam Foley. What do you reckon, boys? Line out here, do you think? Or?
I think they will. I think they know they're not going to win this game in threes, either side. So they'll look to go for a bit of a rumble.
So I was just going to say before, when, you know, those kind of 50-50, those kind of balls down the, you need to win your own line-outs. You only need to win your own, those set pieces, don't you?
100%. The set piece is crucial, especially against the south side that can score from anywhere. So Turner with the throw here again. And Bond nail it this time with the ball set up, well sacked. The tie forward with the pick and go through the middle of the ruck. Gets the offload away. And that's a try.
Great stuff.
To Bond Uni. And it looks like it was Jamison Smith, the guy coming in for Ruben Fumayona, comes away with the chocolates there, boys.
Looked like it was just straight through the middle there from tie forward and a great little offload. Looked like NFL style, just a bit of not much a palm off to the running back.
Yeah, it was just patience there with Bond. Kick to the corner, take some patience, 2 or 3 phases through and South. There was nothing there, quite surprising. And just see the replay here, right 5 metre line there, just pick and drive, and South are all looking for the shift, and yeah, pick and drive, well played. Came
straight through the middle there, and I think that's what you need to be doing against South. They've got a big forward pack, but if you can charge them through the middle, you might be able to get a bit of that space out on the fringes as well.
Yeah, that's right, and South, you'll see today that South don't really commit too many to the ruck there, so they like to fan out straight away, so if there is any room, we'll be right in behind that ruck.
We got Mitch Third lining up the shot at goal.
So, Paul, you retired last year in that as well, and as a game over the last number of years shifted in exactly, you know, we used to be on top of the ball and a lot of contest, and now it's just shifting out, isn't it? It's
very much so, Chits. I think that the game is just really, there's a real massive shift towards keeping the ball in play. Yep. So the ball's in play a lot longer, which means that there's a lot more fatigued bodies out there. So there's, and if you can capitalise on that, you'll do well.
And it looks like Mitch Third shanked that away just to the left of the uprights there. So, boys, 5-5, 9 minutes into the game. Good to see we've got a bit of a contest, at least early on.
Mate, it is. It's good. 0-0 again, and we go again.
Teller with the kick-off. Petrus Vandenberg with plenty of time before getting smoked by Eden Nabuli there. And Bond looked to shift it in midfield with Ty Ford getting the arms free, and Will Slipper looking to possibly dish it off, but going straight up the guts as any good forward should do. Vinny Quigley out to Mitch Third. Shifts out to Vandenberg. As Halaifenua makes the tackle in midfield on Joey Fiddock. Third again. Looks like they're playing expensive footy there, but Jack Farrell's on that. But can't affect the turnover. Quigley, third. To tie forward to Fitzgerald. To Ryan Menzies on the far wing. Drops it on the toe. Picked up by Namanu, who throws a looping pass to Edo Nabuli, the big man in open space. Good luck, Joey Fiddock. Great tackle. Fiddock and Vandenberg in midfield making a good tackle there on Edo Nabuli. Harley Fox with the hit up. Wunipola Fafita taking into the defence, into Corbin Kiernan. And it looks like Vandenberg's made the steal there. And Cam Foley's seen it. Great turnover there by the Bond boys.
It was great stuff. Chitsy, you see there in their own half, Bond pretty keen on running out of their own half there. Not looking for a kick exit though. They were keen to put it through the hands and try to put South in a bit of pressure, which I think they did.
Yeah, and I think, down the left-hand side there, who was it, Ryan Menzies there, they just found an overlap, which he would, and I don't think Ryan Menzies has paid his fees because he's got yellow socks on.
Yeah, I'm sure he's glad you brought that over the commentary. Sean Hedge is going to be going through all the admin now.
I thought Club Sock Day was last week.
Yeah, he might have just missed out. Who knows? It might just be in the wash, and it's not like you just duck back down the M1 to pick up your socks again, eh? You can't call mum and tell her to drive an hour north into Brisbane to give you your socks, eh? Good clean catch there by Callum Ball. And we've got Bond set up here. Brought down by South. Not called by Foley, by Cam Foley, referee. Keenan to third, to Vandenberg in midfield. Quigley to forward. And Quigley's been caught there by his opposite number, Nigel Genya from South. And through the middle go Bond. Jack Farrell's on that again. And affects the turnover. Done. Great play by Jack Farrell.
Under all sorts of pressure there, South, and Jack comes up with a massive play.
And he's been one of the best up until last week. Obviously, he wasn't there after copping that knock a couple of weeks ago against Brothers, but he's a very big addition to this Souths outfit, being one of the best in the opening rounds, Pauline.
Mate, he is, and obviously spending some time with the Rebels under-20s there, so he was in a great system, and just looks like to bring those learnings all to Souths. And speaking of Super Rugby, it's great to see Izzy Naisarani, one of some South favourite sons, just here in the crowd watching on.
Possibly getting himself a Wallabies call-up in the next couple of weeks. You never know. Good clean catch there. Genya to Teller. To Harley Fox in midfield, showing what he can do. Good quick ball there with a dinking jab by Teddy Teller, well covered by Pierce Fitzgerald. With an absolute bludger of a pass, but well scooped up. Vinny Quigley, Johnny on the spot there. As it looks like Gowda moves into dummy half, to halfback, sorry. With Papworth taking the hit up out in the outside fringes. Good line by Vandenberg taking that hit up there with Mitch Third opting to drop it on the toe, and he might have cooked it, and he has. He's overcooked it.
Yeah, you can probably see the intention there, lads, of by Bond. A couple of hit-ups left and right, and then the kick back behind in the 22. So, but unfortunately, Mitch Third overcooked that one.
It was probably the right idea, just lacked the execution there.
And I guess that's something you really need to nail if you're playing the top of the table team. Good catch there by Matty Bennett with Edo Nabuli in midfield. The big man charging on. Good quick ball there from South as they come back down this short side with a looping pass by Nigel Genya. Alex Casey, the big man on the fringes. Good quick pill there. Genya to Uvalu, to Teddy Teller. 3 passes in there on the far side of the field. Namanu. Farrell with a looping pass to Wungavulangi, who drops it on the toe. And probably not the best option, but it looks like South have got it back after a knock-on by Bond. Boys, probably not the smartest play, but you can see the intent by South there, trying to go sideline to sideline.
Yeah, and you can see there probably when it got to Jack Farrell there, probably just needed to take it into contact, set up, and then go again, but try to shift it onto the go-to man in Maury Wonga out there to make something out of nothing.
I don't know about you guys, but the size of the wingers are getting bigger and bigger. Like, those blokes should be playing second row, surely.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it makes it tough to call when you see them charging in midfield and you think it's a number 8 and it turns out it's the winger, right?
Play on the wing and go jump in the line out, you reckon?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, they do it in 7s, so why not? Get them in there. South with the feed, 5 metres from the far touchline. On the Bond 10. Genya with the feed. Good solid base by the Magpies there. Flat ball to Ralphie Ivalu. To Harley Fox stepping in at 10 there. Gets it to Jaden Armanu. To Tarsi. To Nabuli, to Teddy Teller coming down the short side. And Nabuli taking it one off the ruck. Good luck. Genya over the try line, push back. Good, smart defence there by Bond. But looks like it's held up. Good play there by Bond Uni.
Good desperation there, but I think it might have been the right winger there.
Yeah, it was Adam Gowder getting in there in close.
Yeah, trying to stop a guy that's like 6'5", that close to the line. They got under his ribs and turned him, doubled him back, and then Genia as well getting under him. So look, Bond University really throwing their bodies under the ball. It's been sensational so far.
Definitely up for it, the men from down the M1.
Chop up.
And it looks like Jamison Smith here might just be looking to get a bit of medical attention. But boys, look, 16 minutes in, still 5-all. How are we looking thus far in this match? Do you think it's the score reflects the game thus far?
Yeah, I reckon it does. Very even-keeled kind of game, and I'm pretty impressed with the Bond captain there, Ty Ford. Obviously, inclusion in the Reds pre-season and played in the Brisbane Tens as well. And I think he's really led by example. His young charges, and off the back of that, they're stepping up to the mark as well. Not too sure about yourself, Chets.
Oh, look, I think whenever you play in the top of the table team, you really chuck your body in the line, on the line there and that as well. And there would have been plenty of chat about I imagine their win a few weeks ago against Uni and what they can do when everything switches on.
There's a big scrum here now for the Bond boys. They're going to have to make sure they hold out this big South outfit.
And this is where obviously we were chatting before, we asked before, J-Ball, about the scrummaging there. This is where the experience of the Bond front row really has to step up and take some pressure off their back line.
Genya with the feed. Looks like they're keeping it in there. Harley Fox has got it at the back. Cam Foley calls the penalty there. And Harley Fox has taken it quick, goes himself. Try time for the big man.
Opportunist try.
Now a scorer's kick.
Yeah, quite literally. But guys, the new man into the mix, as you said, Paulie B, he's got a good pedigree. Good to see him getting early touches.
Yeah, and first game, so see how long the lungs last for there. But it was just to hear just quick thinking from the big man, and he just goes through and feels sorry for quickly. He's never going to stop him that close to the line, is he?
No, that's exactly right. When you've got a halfback versus a big guy like that, you know, you're going to win 9 times out of 10. But that's just great vision from a number 8 as well. Not the stock standard, let's go for another scrum, look up, see what's in front of you and go for it. So it's good to see.
And the fact that he's new to the team, this is his first game for South this season, and the fact that he's not afraid to take that quick tap, he seems to be fitting in quite well. As we said, you know, he's got the pedigree, Australian schoolboy skipper and stuff, so you'd think he'd back himself. Well, he seems to be backing himself if he's going to put his hand up to take shots at goal. So 2 metres in from touch, the big man, Harley Fox, lines up. And again, it's coming back. Oh, and it's too short. Not enough Weet-Bix.
That's it.
From the big man.
If you're Bond here, fellas, do you look to go long or do you look to put a contestable up again?
Oh, I'd love to go contestable. I always like that one there, but I think South are really to run from anywhere at the moment, aren't they?
Good kick off there by Mitch Thord. Well taken by Halai Whanua. And Alex Casey getting a lot of touches early on. As again, he comes down this near side again with Halo Fanua and Wanga Valangi. Don't give the man space. He's going to skin you.
Go, boys.
Wanga Valangi takes it up to Mitch third with the offload. Nigel Gagnac, Johnny on the spot, and Amori Wanga Valangi absolutely kills it down that far side.
Had no room to work with. Absolutely nothing, boys. Had no right to make what he did out of that. Jeez.
You're exactly right. He had no right to get to where he was he there? And it's sensational Nigel getting on the right-hand side. There's actually nothing on. And Ryan Mendes just missed a tackle there, and all of a sudden 1-2 against 2 second rowers down the back, and you're thinking, here we go. And just the keep the ball alive and popping the ball up.
What an offload. The no-looker.
No-looker. And Genia, like a good halfback, always backing up.
And it looks like there's actually an injury to one of the Bond players there.
Is that Quigley, the halfback?
Yeah, possibly. Not too sure what happened there in back play.
It's interesting momentum in a game, isn't it? You know, 1 or 2 quick tries and all of a sudden the momentum on the front foot. And it's hard, as a player, you know, it's hard to stop other teams' momentum, isn't it? So this is hopefully Bond will be hoping on something to break the momentum.
I think the boys from Bond just really need to identify that off their kickoff. Souths are going to play. They're going to play a few phases, come to midfield. They're not really going to look to kick. So they just need to have eyes up and look to try and stop that. Helps them.
100%, 100%. And Harley Fox there gets the additional 2 points there. And as always, we have to give a special mention to the Index Group, the major sponsor of Souths Rugby, for their long-term and continued support of the club and grassroots rugby. And it looks like it may have been Vinny Quigley. Looks like he's back into the mixer now with Mitch Third taking the kickoff. Getting some serious height on it, but again, well taken by Halo Fanua as he gets a shonky pass to Wanga Valangi, who's got his hands free but opts to take the tackle. Good clean out by Von Blankensee. To Fafita in the midfield. Teddy Teller steps in. As we see Souths coming down this far side. Tau to Latasi. Tasi gets it to Edo Nabuli.
Great tackle.
Taken down by Gorda. But again, Tau to Latasi. Tasi, the former Rabbitohs first grader, getting the 5-pointer there. Boys, it's looking a bad omen, isn't it?
Mate, it is. And once again, you know that Souths are going to play off their kickoff, so the boys from Bond just seem to be asleep to that, and then they just hit one for midfield, and then they look to play the same way, and they're casting really short here. So if you look here, Teddy just won 2 passes, and he got 3 there to no one. Quick, hands on, and at this point you think Eto's going to go all the way. Great covering tackle there from Gerardo, and then Tasi there just to pick up the easy meat pie.
Yeah, Paul, I mean, you look, 2 tries on the right-hand side was down that 10-metre channel, and on this side, 10-metre channel as well. So Coach Grant Anderson will be saying, you know, three South players unmarked, you know, you've got to start numbering up.
And the thing is, they're not kicking the ball, are they, South? So you don't need to have so many guys back there to, you know, waiting there for a potential kick.
But that's it, right? I mean, if you don't have to kick the ball to get to the open spaces, I mean, you don't necessarily need to. And they've been using it to aplomb thus far, the good triple cutout, which you'd like to see out at Chipsy Wood. As we've got Harley Fox lining up the kick. Again, 2 metres in from the left-hand touch. And again, it doesn't look like he's got the beans to get there. So, South 22 to Bonds 5, 22 minutes in.
I think one of the big things for South and what Bond have to try to stop is every time South are going to the deck, they are popping the ball and offloading and getting that momentum there. So twice that's been off a pop ball. How do you stop that? I don't know.
And it doesn't look like Third's got enough on that kick. And that's another wasted opportunity by Third there.
Yeah, off the back of points, you're giving South an easy exit here, and really scrum midfield, threats either side. Defensively, you'd be looking up and hoping they don't come down your channel, won't you?
This is where it's good to be a front row. You can blame it on the outside backs for getting skinned. So what do you reckon here, boys? Do you reckon they will split it? Do you reckon they might attack one way, try and come back?
Well, the former 5'8", I suppose. On the back, you'll be knowing what's going on.
No, you'll probably look for 8-9, and it looks like money's on it. They're probably going to go, I reckon they'll go their right side, but now that their centre's gone across, Teddy could be an option, maybe with the halfback coming around on the loop.
You got Nigel Genia with his head on a swivel and a penalty there for South. So Bond just compounding error after error.
Big smiles from the front row there. They know they won that battle.
And that's it. You've got the youngster there in Vunipola Fafita taking the reins over Fayao Fotuaika. So any chance he can take to put his hand up, he'll obviously take it, with South now putting it into touch. 30-odd out from Bond's try line here. What do you think, boys? Maul, or they'll try and attack a bit more?
No, definitely they'll play off the top. Looks like a bit of a short line out here, so it looks like they'll hit maybe a 9 to 12.
Genia with the long pass out to Harley Fox in midfield, getting a short ball from Avalu and straight through the guts.
Tarsi.
Tarsi.
Man with 2 first names.
It's just too easy here for the Magpies. 25 minutes in, 27 points on the board, potentially 29.
Yeah, when we look at that replay again there, I don't know what happened in the defensive line. Must be a confusion there, because there seems to be numbers on both sides, and just that offload again by the number 8, Harley Fox. Yeah, just holds the ball up on the right-hand side in that channel. No one's blocking that channel.
So it looked like they just went to sleep there after, they thought that he made contact, and obviously made it easy for Tarsi as a support runner's come through, and sporting a fancy haircut. I don't know why that would be.
It's almost as if it's Ladies' Day or something. Yeah, everybody's rocking a pretty fresh lid out there, aren't they?
They are, mate. The old barber's got a good taking this weekend, didn't they?
I've never seen so many three-quarter pants on males in the... that must be what you have to wear these days.
Who knows?
Oh, look, let's hope... Come on, Bond, get out, just shoulders up in defence. 27-5, yeah, it is a big scoreline at the moment, but Bond have shown some really good patches with the ball, so they've just got to aim up in defence.
It's actually 29-5 with that conversion, unfortunately, there, Chet. So I don't know if that makes it any more difficult, but it'll be interesting to see how Bond respond here. They go with the long drop kick there, fielded by Ralphie Avalu, with Namanu taking the hit up there. And it looks like they're trying to go for the smart one there. Alex Casey, but a turnover there. Adam Gowder's picked up that peel. Vinny Quigley with the pass out to Will Slipper, one off the ruck. Advantage there to Bond Uni as Quigley clears it out. Cullen Ball, it's the third who takes it into contact there. As we see Nicky T getting pumped there by Harley Fox, but they did have the advantage.
You think that can be the danger, Chitty, when you're up by a few points. You look to just think you can score from everywhere. And you can almost invite them back into the game off the back of mistakes.
Well, I think, again, we said momentum before. 1 or 2 quick tries, all of a sudden, then it's the momentum game. But,
that's right.
Yeah, there's too many experienced heads in South's team, I think, to let this one, let complacency kick in.
Great opportunity here for a scrum right in the middle there, about 8 metres out.
And Ty Ford packing down at number 8 for this scrum. Quigley with the feed. And it looks like knock back there from Ty Ford, but it does look like they've affected the choke tackle there. And turnover there by South. Hello Fanua getting that choke tackle.
Bit of a breakdown on communication in the back of the scrum there, Chetsy, you reckon?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It popped out the left-hand side there. So, again, South's on top of the ball, and you've got to be aware, don't you? So, look, and that's demoralising as well for the Bond. You're 29-5 down. You really want to make these plays count, but unfortunately, South's come away with the ball and an easy exit.
We're seeing a really good matchup on this near side here. Salisi Manu, the experienced campaigner, coming up from Sydney, NRC player, up against Vunipola Fafita, 21 years old, Australian under-20s prop. It'll be really interesting to see who gets the wood here. Genya clears it out to Jaden Armanu, who again just dabs a little kick over, and there's plenty of space for Tarsi, who gets it out for Wanga Vulangi, who looks like he's got to jog it in a canter. And there it is right there. You'd say that's potentially a 14-point turnaround there by the Magpies.
100%. How do you stop there, Chitsy? Yes.
Oh,
sometimes you just got to sit back and just applaud great rugby, don't you?
And the bounce of the ball as well, isn't it? It's just that bounce of the ball, and that's confidence and confidence with each other.
And I think Harley Fox might be spewing a bit. I don't think he would have been thinking he's taking this many shots at goal. The big man would be blowing, wouldn't he? As we see here, Wangavulungi 60 metres out, no one in front of him, jogs it in a canter. You can see why both the Queensland and Aussie Sevens system have got their eye on him.
Well, he was like Winks in the 25 starts, wasn't he? It was him and Daylight. But look, it's one of those things where, as a player, do you expect those kind of chip and chases or whatever? But, you know, at the end of the day, who knows in this day of rugby, they try everything and anything.
Yeah. I think for Bond, the best form of defence really is just to have the ball in their hands at the moment, isn't it? Just being starved of possession and they're just turning it over quite easily when they do get it.
Fox trots in and nails it from the big man. Great stuff. And as always, we have to give a special mention to Bruce Linton, Jaguar and Land Rover, the major sponsor of Bond University, for their long-term support of the club and grassroots rugby. Boys, what do you think we're going to see here from Bond? Do you think they'll drill it long, or do you want them to try and do it short so that they can actually get a bit of a roll on against possession?
You really need to make it a 50-50, try and make it an opportunity, make it a contest.
And Nabuli with the offload there, looks like that came off Joey Fiddock, so it might be a South line out here, as it is. So it'll be interesting to see here. We haven't seen South trying to drill it long and try and get that field position. They might try and dab it over again. 36 points up to 5, you'd think. Why not give it a shot, eh? Hello Fanua with the clean take, unopposed. Infield, Teddy Teller swings it wide with an ugly pass, picked up by Tarsi, who comes back into the midfield, who again spills the beans and it's picked up by Petrus Vandenberg. Vinnie Quigley needs to get in quick to get this ball away as Callum Ball gets wrapped up at the halfback channel. Good quick ball here for Bond, but they opt to slow it down with Ty Ford shifting out to Vandenberg, who takes it up 1 metre from the south line, and that's try to Bond.
Great hit back.
And it looks like it was Vandenberg. Crawls his way over close to the line.
Well deserved. They just tore it away there, and I think that's the risk when you're up by so much. You just tend to chance around too much, and off the back of mistakes, Bond were good enough to get the spoils in that situation there, and great work.
And I think the wording you used right there, they were good enough to actually convert the points there. And maybe South, maybe the coach, Takiri just said, look, let's just get out of danger first, and then do the flashy stuff, not 5 metres out from the line, because who knows what can happen.
Well, that's the thing, right? ET all seasons, he said, despite, well, Mitch Third there knocking over the extra 2 points, despite them at getting the wins, they have let the teams in a little bit. So that'll be something he'll want to make sure that they take out of play here. As we see, it was Vandenberg getting the clean up here. Vinnie Quigley not quick enough, so Callum Ball goes in. They get quick clean out. And Vinnie Quigley, short ball here to Petrus Vandenberg, who just charges over close to the line. Try time.
Yeah, I don't think Takiri would be very happy with that defence around the pillar post area. That was quite soft.
He's a good bloke, Paul, isn't he, Paulie B? But he can get a bit feisty from time to time.
He can.
A good catch there by Vandenberg off the kickoff. But it looks like Hello Fanua.
Yeah, that was an easy one there for the ref.
Tries to affect the clean out, but just off his feet there. So a let off there by South. So it'll be interesting to see how Bond go with ball in hand, because you haven't seen it too much thus far, boys.
Yeah, with 8 minutes to go, 36-12, although, 36 points. If Bond can go in again, 36-19, that'll be a bit of confidence boost for Bond.
100%. And there you go again. It's just that swing of momentum again. Points plus a penalty equals an easy exit.
Good clean catch by Callum Ball. Quigley to third, who brings Corbin Kiernan under in the heavy line. Quick ball there for Quigley. Out to Callum Ball, who takes a good hit up. The turnover ball there. And unfortunately, they've copped it up again, boys.
They're looking likely, though. They were getting in behind the advantage line and they were making good yards just in and around that kind of issue area there for South Sea, just behind the ruck.
And I think a desperate team is a dangerous team, isn't it? Those little 50-50 balls, if they hit, then all of a sudden. But, you know, I think the skipper, Ty Ford, really getting his hands on the ball and getting really involved. So, mate, the skipper is, mate, who do you look for? You look for your big number 7, don't you?
And that's Ty Ford there, packing down at number 8 for Bond. He is going to be key to them if they can come away with a butter confection today, with Genya feeding the ball in. At the back of the scrum, they go down the blind side to Jaden Armanu, who cops one, a bit of a seatbelt across the neck there, and Cam Foley does blow the penalty there. So Bond releasing that pressure valve one more time.
When you're chasing forwards, you don't really need to do that there. Well, you don't need that.
I've got no comment about the high tackle rule these days.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. Anything above the nipple line or too hard is a penalty these days, isn't it?
Yeah. I can understand when there's no intent there. There's you know, hand on the ball, whatever. Yeah. So it's. I mean, the referee's got a job to do, unfortunately, but it's part of the rules. But you're right. That was an easy exit there for Souths.
Good long ball there to Blankensee, the back of the line out with Genya coming double back around. Teddy Teller taking the tackle in midfield, out on the far channels here. Genya to Jaden Armanu in the 5-metre channel. With Blankensee taking the hit up with Jack Farrell latching on into contact. As Genya comes to the blind side here with Nabuli, who coughs it up. Turnover effect by Callum Ball with Petrus Vandenberg going into the halfback with Ty Ford, hands on ball, coming up against his opposing skipper in Casey. Jemison Smith there, taking contact. Third to Vandenberg as Bond to get advantage there for offside by South. They look to play it. Callum Ball taking the hit up. Space. And there was numbers down this blind side here if they opted to choose. But they did have the advantage there. And it looks like Matty Bennett's is down in midfield, but he's all right. The season campaigner.
Just a bit of water and he'll be fine.
I think what the difference has been so far is when there's been an overlap in numbers, South have been able to execute the numbers, but unfortunately Bond had about 3-on-1 opportunity and just got broken down from a big forward taking the ball up.
And they're not really getting good quick ball either. It seems Jack Farrell and Halai Fanura especially has really been on that pill.
Time up.
As we've got time off here, it looks like...
Sorry?
I think it was Papworth was just down in the background, but he's all good.
Time's on.
As Bond have the line out, attacking line out just on the other side of the halfway. It's a good clean ball to Callum Ball himself. Third gives it out to Ty Ford, who gets pumped by Jack Farrell, his opposing 7 in midfield. Quigley to third, taking into contact. And Jack Farrell was on that, but no clear release.
No daylight, yeah. Jack was a bit too quick there for his own good. He's a fiery character.
It's all handbags nowadays anyway.
All bark, no bite these days, boys.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Quick tap here.
As Mitch Stern takes the quick one, gives it out to Nick Turner. The cop one's a little bit high from Jake Simeon. Not called by Foley, who gets it midfield here to Luke Papworth to set a platform for Bond. Quigley out to third. Short ball to Pierce Fitzgerald, who slices up the midfield, who comes one-on-one with Nigel Genya, who gets him by the bootlaces. With an offload there to Will Slipper. Take it up, son. But looks like Blankensee's on that.
The big man.
And again, in the red zones, Bond turned the pill over.
Yeah, just good phase play there by, it was number 15, wasn't it, there, going through, and I thought he was going to get through, but big Will Slipper coming through and just getting caught by the South second rower right over the top of the ball.
He did well, the big fella, to get down. It's a long way to get down from how big he is.
I think, according to this, he's 2 metres 6 centimetres, so whatever that is in the old-timey charts, I'm not too sure, but I just call it pretty bloody tall. As Genya opts for the line out. The good kick up towards halfway here. Couple minutes here, boys. What do you reckon? Another shot?
Yeah, I think from Bond's perspective, they were just trying to make sure that they stop the flow. No more points. And from South's point of view, it'd be, short line there. So it looked like they're going to hit the midfield again.
As Genya gets a bit of sloppy pill there. Midfield to Tarsi. To Avalu, sorry. Now here's Hello Fanua, who chops up the midfield with that Onadabuli on his inside. Vinny Quigley's chasing him, but he's got no chance against the big Fijian winger there.
You can see the eyes light up from Sumana there at their breakdown. You can see the opportunity, and he loves that little cheeky pick and go. Absolutely loves it.
And again, J-Boy, you called a 14-point turnaround there, wasn't it? In at 22, and all of a sudden it's turned around. And unfortunately, all the hard work by Bond the last 5 or so minutes has gone, unfortunately, gone down the drain.
And it looks like Big Edo's taking in the big ones there.
And now just off the top there, and it was just a bit of soft defence in the middle there, and just another offload, another quick pick up and drive. And and who do you want? You want your big number 11, Nabuli, with more toe than a Roman sandal down there and going right under the black dot.
As Harley Fox adds the extras, we round out the first half there. We see South 38 to Bonds, 43 to Bonds 12. Boys, it's been an electric opening 40 minutes. We've seen South completely dominate. What do you think this second half's got in line for us?
I think a little bit of the same. You'd expect to see South make a lot of changes there, so you see a lot of fresh boys that probably don't usually get a lot of minutes will come on, so there'll be an opportunity there for Bond to potentially get some points back, but they really need to throw caution to the wind and let the ball go.
Yeah.
And you there, Chets, I was about to ask you, Bond, they seem to be, they're down by 30-odd points, but it doesn't feel that way. Like, what do you think they need to be doing coming into half-time? What do you reckon Grant Anderson's going to be saying to them?
I just think tightening up that in the midfield, and also as well trying to stop the offloads down as well, because I think that's been the dangerous part of where they've been really dominating as well.
Well, going into the half-time break, we're going to show you why we play the game. Premier Rugby's own mini-documentary series. The 5th episode was released ahead of today's match, featuring Bond captain Ty Ford. Making the move from New Zealand, Ford played local Gold Coast club rugby with Bond Pirates before joining the Premier Rugby outfit and progressing to play NRC and even for the Queensland Reds this year's Brisbane Global Rugby 10s. Check it out.
Hi, my name's Ty Ford. I play in the back row for Bond Uni. Originally first moved over from New Zealand and came to the Gold Coast and got my first taste of rugby at the Bond Pirates here on the Gold Coast. So I came by their club by actually going for a run. I was a bodybuilder before then and thought I'd go and have a look on the Saturday if they played or not, and they did, and then sort of watched them play and then asked if I could come along. So I went there and wasn't too excited. They sort of came last the year before, and they put me into reserve grade, and I just pushed myself through, got through to the first grade, and we made the grand final. And so it was we lost by 3 points, but it was a massive effort coming from last to second in the comp next year. Yeah, after I finished the season at the Pirates, I wanted to take the next challenge, so I got told about the Premier comp. So the only team that we have on the Gold Coast that's in the Premier comp is Bond Uni, so I came down and inquired here, and then I was invited along to do pre-season, and it was a hell of a challenge, I'll tell you that much. So it took me 2 years to find my feet in the Prem comp, and last year, I got the opportunity to make NRC under Brad Thorne, which is a huge thing. So coming into that also taught me a lot of, just being a real physical player. It took my footy to the next level, and also being around a great bunch of boys that play as a team. So, and we were lucky enough to get to the grand final and take it out, coming from last place again. So a little bit of past and coming back into my future, so it's good. After NRC, I was lucky enough to get a call from QOURTNEY to, ask me if I wanted to join the Reds for pre-season, which was a huge thing. It was the next step up, the next level, which was even harder. So it took my footy to another level. And also, I got the opportunity to play in the Brisbane Tens. That was a massive thing, one of my biggest stages ever. So that was a huge thing. And bringing all that, what I learnt there, to back into the Premier Rugby, taking my footy to another level. Outside of rugby, I'm a personal trainer. I work a hell of a lot, so early mornings, late nights, but it all works into one. So changing lives, I'm sort of helping people become better rugby players, or my athletic performance clients. Also, weight loss and everything like that. I play footy for the challenge, just literally like getting the opportunity to achieve something and literally seeing it and then doing it, taking it out, and just no excuses, putting in the work and getting it done. My next step, what I want to achieve is love to make NRC again, and I definitely want to be fitter, bigger, faster and stronger, so I don't get pushed around as much as I did last year, and hopefully I can actually do something, go a bit further with the Reds or anything in the future.
Great stuff there by Ty Ford, obviously learning a bit more about the game from the big man himself, and as always, we had the Reds membership, so if you had commitments throughout the year and you missed the first half of the season, but you still want to join your Reds family, go for gold. You can meet us halfway and secure your second half full-game membership to cheer on the St George Queensland Reds against the Highlanders, Waratahs, Rebels and Sunwolves at Suncorp Stadium. Call 1300 753 733 or visit redsmembership.com.au. So, boys, we've seen some pretty good footy out here at Chipsy Wood Oval. As we know, we've got other matches going around being broadcast live and for free at redsrugby.com.au. Now, Brothers and Sunnybank doesn't kick off till 4:20, but we've got some scores coming in. So, Jeeps are 15-0 over the Doggies at YOKU Road. So, Chets, did you see that coming?
No, not at all, mate. I thought it might have been. It's interesting. But as we know, in Queensland Premier Rugby, 15 points isn't a lot, but for Duck Egg for West, which they're scoring machines, that's quite surprising.
It is, but it'll be interesting to see if they can get up in the second half. That's typically when Jeeps actually tend to kick away from things. But out at Hugh Courtney Oval in Nunda, we've got Norths having their Ladies' Day and they're hosting UQ, and they're only down 14 points to 10 at the half. Paulie B, you said yourself you thought it was going to be a T20 score.
Mate, I did actually, so that's really surprising.
Yeah, mate, you look like an idiot.
Mate, I know. Mind you, I've got 40 minutes to be proven otherwise. Mind you, it is Ladies' Day, so the boys are probably putting on a bit of performance.
As we said, if you ever want to play a blinder, it's got to be during Ladies' Day. Now, every Friday during the Queensland Premier Grade competition, QPR Weekly is released to give you guys the lay of the land and a taste for what's to come. It includes all weekly content, stories, team lists and much more. This weekend's programs features stories on the South's pivot Jason Hoffmeyer, who isn't playing today after an injury at training on Tuesday, and of course the return of women's club rugby. So boys, obviously ET's been able to have a chance to sit down with the boys from South, Grant Anderson and co, the same for Bond. Paulie B, you first. What do you reckon was said at half-time from ET to the boys, and how are South going to come away here?
I think not to get carried away, to still play field position first and then play off the back of that, not to force the issue. If it's there, definitely go through with it, but definitely don't get too carried away and invite Bond back into the game.
And to you, Chets, Grant Anderson, Sybie and Sean Hedger and co would have definitely had a word to the boys. Probably a bit of a feisty word to the boys from the Gold Coast at half time. What do you reckon was said, and what do you reckon they actually need to do to make sure they come away with a win here?
Well, number one, exactly, they don't give South any more opportunities, easy opportunities, and when they're in their own half and 22, execute their plays, what they've been training for. So not giving away the cheap ball, I think, is really important. Look, their forwards haven't been bad. South's just been red hot.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it is. Souths have been red hot as Jaden Armanu takes us into the second half. There's a good catch there by Callum Ball, unopposed. Mitch Third coming into midfield to Ty Ford and Jemison Smith coughing it up 15 seconds into the half in their own red zone.
And that's a coach killer there, right just after half-time, exactly what you want to get to your play, get to your exit, and yeah, unfortunately now South's got an opportunity to put more pressure on.
But they're doing, and you'll see their number 16, Samiti Teller's on there for younger brother Teddy, and he will resume the duties there at number 10. And a little quick story on Samiti, spent a bit of time in Montpellier on the off-season with big names in dollar there, and they call him Issa Nathiwa here at the club because he plays pretty much every position.
Crouch!
Issa Nathiwa, a name I haven't heard in a very long time. He's still getting around over in the Irish leagues, isn't he? Over at Leinster or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
The scrums leading up to this point, the gap has been fantastic. It needs to continue, okay? Yep. There we are.
Very brave man, Cam Foley, walking in the middle of probably about 700 kilos worth of meat right there. But up until now, it's been very, very good at scrum time. So it'll be interesting to see how they keep going with it.
Yeah, Cam Foley hasn't had to get involved too much in the game, which has even been a tick in every box.
Bind! Set!
Kenny with the feed. Harley Fox.
Knock on.
And he coached it. You can see he's spewing about it too, the big man.
It was probably Sam Block vacancy size 35s that got him away there.
Yeah, you'd have to think a big, hell of a big shoe to try and get that ball around, isn't it? What do you reckon here then, guys? Do you think Bondi want to just try and bury it, get out of their half, or do you think possession's key, they might try and work their way out?
Oh, look, if I was a betting man, I'd be getting out of there very fast and then putting pressure on South to try to get them to come out of their half.
Bind!
But mind you, my gambling's not very good at all.
Yeah, who knows what happens at QPR sometimes, right? As we see a big shunt coming through up on Vunipola for feeder side as Ty Ford takes the hit up and gets pumped by Harley Fox. Not too sure if there are many arms in that, but Cam Foley seems to be sweet with it. As the Magpies are called for a knock on there as Jamison Smith cleans the pill up. And Jack Farrell's on that pill again.
No advantage. Knock on.
I think Harley Fox was lucky to get away with that one there. But
fine.
Yeah, definitely look like no arms there from the big fella.
Yeah, looks like the big fella Jamison Smith there. He's almost got a bit of a rib or a shoulder injury. He's reeling over in a bit of pain. Was that from the contact from Fox? I think it might have been.
Yeah, I mean, he did clean that ball up and he did twist and turn a little bit awkwardly, so maybe he just pops up there, but he's just a second row. He doesn't have to do anything in a scrum bar push.
That was J. Ball Staunton said that.
I don't want to borrow that.
Yeah, coming from a former hooker. Emphasis on former.
Set! No,
Jake Simeon just losing his footing on this near side here. And it's good seeing Jake Simeon in the mix there, Paulie B. Obviously took last year off, coming back in the mix, just a young pup himself still, and he's getting an opportunity. So ET said he trained the house down in pre-season.
He did it. It looks like he's just grown in confidence, and obviously around a few more experienced campaigners, looks like he's just gone to that extra level.
I mean, in a front row containing Vunipola Fafita, Feo, Fotuaika, Maili, Naomo, he seems to be the one consistent player every week, so it's good to see the youngster really putting his hand up. It helps being absolutely friggin' enormous as well, as we see him coming through on this near side as South get the clean-up bill here. Harley Fox gets it out to Avalu with Wangawalungi absolutely skidding Ryan Menzies. And
that'll do me, boys. That'll dead set do me.
There goes Wangawalungi. Too easy, Camp Easy.
Seriously, that's super rugby stuff, isn't it, boys?
Well, he had no room on this far side, on this near side, and he's just absolutely skinned. A good defender in Ryan Menzies himself.
And also Pierce Fitzgerald coming across as well. So you see here, great scrum, wheels it, quick hands here. Ralph recognises the threat on the outside and bang off the left foot. And then again, if you don't mind. Uncoachable. That stuff's just uncoachable.
About a metre off.
You're right, that is uncoachable. You know, going into half-time, I asked you, Chess, what Grant Anderson and co would be saying. there's nothing you can do for that, though.
No, that's exactly right. And they're one of the parts of the game where you just put your hands up and go, well, mate, it's freakish.
Just let him score.
Yep. Yeah, so you don't think there's any...
I'd like to see who could have tackled him in that scenario there. I don't think there'd be many that could, but as a, 6'5", whatever he is, whatever kilos, it's just dominate.
And he makes it look so easy as well. Jinking and driving. He doesn't have the big Clay Cooper step. The Benji Marshall, how you going? It literally is just a weave, but he just seems to nail it as Harley Fox lines it up. And here we go from the sideline, the big man.
Oh,
doesn't get
just short.
It was right in front of the ladies' enclosure as well. Wouldn't that be a few Chardonnays going crazy?
Well, that's it.
Oh. He'd be skewing too, wouldn't he?
He's probably saying, can he score under the post a bit more, fellas?
Yeah. And it looks like we've got a change here. Reds player Alex Murphy coming on in number 18 for Will Slipper. I'd assume Nick Turner might be going to tight head prop there. Be interesting to see how he goes in this final 35 as Wangavulungi juggles the pill and brings rain with that one. Tie forward, safe as houses underneath, but a bludger of a pass infield to Mitch third, who brings Pierce Fitzgerald underneath, who crabs sideways. Vinny Quigley gets it out third. Gets midfield to Jemison Smith, who gets a short ball to his second row partner in Callum Ball. Quigley gets it out and Mitch third. Coughs it up. You can't be doing that, can you?
Well, and that's exactly right. That's about half a dozen times so far in the game. 2 or 3 phases and just let the pressure off completely.
It almost seems like the harder you try, the more mistakes you make, which can often be the case when you're chasing big points. And unfortunately for Bond, it's, I mean, you used the term coach killer before, Chelsea, and I think that will probably just add to the stress levels.
Well, I know Rodney Sod very well. He's got not much hair, and he won't have much more hair after today either.
And it looks like Will Slipper's actually still on the field. It was Nick Turner that came off for Alex Murphy at hooker.
Set!
Yeah, half arm there. Will Genya takes it quick. To the blind winger, Wangavulungi.
No, surely not.
Here we go.
Surely
with
not.
the chip and chase.
Surely.
And the regather from Nigel Genya.
Oh, folks.
See you later, boys. And Genya comes in for the meat pie.
I'm running out of superlatives, lads.
And that bounce of the ball, when everything's going your way, the bounce of the ball just pops up, doesn't it?
And it's always guys like Wangavulungi who create their own opportunities. You know, if you've got someone like Denny who can get that quick tap out to Wangavulungi, who can just drop it on the toe.
That's right. And just a vision from Nigel there. Quick tap. He knew where the threat was straight away. You see the replay here. He taps it. You can see that all eyes are in on him. There's got to be space somewhere. And being Mori here, just a big chip and chase over the top. Cruel bounce. And as any good halfback, just backing up to take the easy 5-pointer.
And as much as a workhorse tie forward is, the bounce of the ball did him dirty there, unfortunately.
Right in front of the ladies' enclosure again.
Here we go.
Get the Chardonnays ready, ladies.
Come on, big man. Do us a favour and make us look good. And he starts it out to the right and keeps it right.
He's done, boys. He's done, boys. Looks like scorer kicks from now on in, lads.
God, that's got to sting you big time. When you're a big man taking shots at goal and it works, God, it's good. But when it doesn't,
yeah,
it really stings. And 53 points to 12 in favour of South here. Bond really need to work hard to get back in this match. As Mitch third drills it long and high. And straight into touch there on the first bounce. Hello Fanua letting that bounce.
I know we've been talking about Bond actually, you know, spilling the ball and taking pressure off, but also South's defence has been very strong, right up putting pressure on Bond to make those mistakes. So, you know, it's not all been Bond's mistakes, it's been South's pressure.
Blanket C with the clean win. Genya with the box kick. Finds touch up toward the 40-metre line.
You think that's the first time they've actually kicked out of their own 22? I think it is.
Yeah, probably, actually. Sub. And it looks like there's a couple subs there. As we've got Reece Van Eck coming on as well as Alex Hatsis. And Alex Casey and Vunipola Fafita having a spell. As we see Corbin Kiernan with a heavy unders line, getting over the ad line. Out to third, to Fiddock, with the Burley coming from the outside in defensively. As we see Vinny Quigley taking the ball out the back of the ruck there. Mitch third ducking into half. To Murphy with a short ball to Will Slipper, and they've coughed it up. A bit too cutesy, it seems.
Oh, and that again, another coach killer. We keep saying that 3 or 4 phases and just those little mistakes there. And Paulie, is that when you start blowing up as a player? Just little things that are, you know, you didn't need to.
I think, like you said, when things aren't going your way, they really don't go your way. You're not the back. They're just trying to push the pass, force the issue, and they come up with a mistake.
Set, make his max after you work. Stay down here. Open up, yep, got you. Get your waist, get your waist.
Crouch. Boys.
So South just outside the 22. It'll be interesting to see what they do here. Do they run it or do they actually get the exit? So if anything can go by today, it's going to be a run.
As we see them come down the near side as Jaden Armanu drills it on the toe. Pierce Fitzgerald with the goose step. Wrapped up in midfield by a number of South Magpies. As we see Bond come down this near side, Alex Murphy, ball in hand. Vinny Quigley out to third and drills it across the face of the South defensive line.
No clear release.
Good tap.
As it looks like Halifanu is going to that hill there.
Second opportunity, hands in the ruck.
Yeah, nice quick tap there by Bond Uni, and just trying to get the South guys on the back foot. However, South were good at the task at the breakdown.
And it looks like they're just going to plug it in the corner here. Not much else. 3 points when you're down by 41 points isn't really going to do too much, is it? And what do you reckon here, Paulie B? Line out?
Yeah, look, I reckon they might fancy themselves for a bit of a rumble here.
Yeah. As they pin it to the back of the line out, Callum Ball. Clean pill, brought down by the Magpies there.
Collapsing.
Sorry, Samani, you can't walk around like that either, pal. Looks like they'll go for the line out again.
Where's Alex? Oh. So, this end of the field, we need to have a better awareness and discipline around the balls, okay?
It looks like Matt Bennett's taken the captain's armband. With Casey having gone off and set up here by Bond as they get this rolling more moving, but it's crabbing sideways, but it is well set up as they start to march forward with Alexio Murphy at the back.
Great try.
Comes away with the meat pie, big Alex Murphy.
Nothing like a bit of impact from your Reds front second row, eh, boys?
Yeah, it helps when you get a Reds player coming fresh off the bench, doesn't it, boys? But is this Bond coming back into the match, do you reckon, boys?
Oh, look, it's a good confidence builder there, and that they obviously not going for the shot of goal, for the penalty, going for the corner of the line out. And that was well constructed, and also as well, you know, South have just got to be careful not to concede too many more points.
And it's what we were talking about there before their chance. ET's been spewing as they have let a few teams in.
And just, yeah, just at the back of that, it's well controlled there. South had the numbers, but just the body height of the Bond Uni boys, and yeah, couldn't stop Murphy over the line.
And it was really well set up. That's the thing. Their forwards are shaping up pretty well. It's just, I think, the class of the South back line. You know, nothing against the boys from Bond, but the class of South in the back line has just been getting them up, hasn't it? As we see Mitch third, bang that over, 17 in from touch. So we've got 26 minutes to go here, boys. Do you think it's a bit of a rescue mission for Bond, or is it just more to make sure that they can come away with their heads held high to get a few more tries?
Well, I think they really want to make a good account of themselves out there, and they really want to show what they can do when they have the opportunity. I think South's just got to be careful that when they are trapped in their own half, that they don't look to protect the lead. They have to keep playing as well.
As we see a bit of a shonky kick-off, but caught by Edo Nabuli, caught everyone off guard.
It was planned, boys, it was planned.
As Kenya rips a 20-metre cutout to Jaden Armadu in midfield. As Will Slipper tries to get the turnover, again he comes back the other side to Jake Simeon, giving the pill to the Premier Colts player, Reece Van Eck, getting a Guernsey this week. As they come blind.
No, tackle.
Looks like Souths are going to have to regroup as Ralphie Yavalu in midfield takes the hit up, not held, goes again. As they go back down the far side. Smitty Teller coming into that 10 channel loves to run the pill. As Edo Nabuli takes it short off the ruck, gets driven back. And Sam Von Blankensee, the big man, taking it into contact. Met well by Callum Ball. As Jemison Smith with the clean out.
Everything's fine about that counter ruck, but it's knock on.
And it looks like Zach Moy there, the fresh sub coming off the bench.
Fellas, I thought you could have taken out the halfback there.
Sorry?
It's pretty lucky to get away with that.
Sort of letting us go
in a scrum?
Yeah, let them hold our weight.
Okay.
And just before we pack down this scrum, we've just gotten word out of Yoku Road. Wests are up 19 points to 15, down 15 a lot.
You wouldn't read about it, boys. You would not read about it.
How do you pick winners in the QPR comp, eh?
It's a flip of the coin, end, boys.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Burn. Set.
As Genya feeds and goes down the blind side and drops it as he gets absolutely torched.
Jaden.
Jaden Armanu.
Wow.
And that is an absolute special by Nigel Genya and Jaden Narmanu down that far side.
Hasn't he controlled proceedings really well today on Nigel Genia? And that was off his left foot as well, boys. And there's no substitute for pace. And Jaden Narmanu just comes out of nowhere like a thief at the night.
It'd be interesting, I don't know if that was planned, lads, but it was a last-minute decision there by Genia, feeding the ball, and he actually saw his halfback go back towards the back of the right-hand side of the scrum, and just to kick through, and Johnny on the spot, just that ball kicks up once again, 15 metres, untouched, and South in again.
Yeah. Exactly right, and that's the thing, you hit the nail on the head, Paulie B. Nigel Genia stepping in for Richard King, and, you know, you've had a new halves partnership. All year you've had King and Cooper absolutely lighting the competition up. And now you get, granted, if your second string halfback is Nigel Genia and your second string fly half's Teddy Teller, I think
you're doing all right, boys. You're doing all right.
But they've stepped in and they've handled this with aplomb.
That's it. And Maury looks like he's taking over the goal kicking duties.
Hey, look, you can do everything else. Why not take a shot at goal, eh? As he comes in, strikes it well, but just to the left of the uprights. Guess he can't do everything.
He's only human, eh, boys? He's only human.
And again, as always, you have to give a special mention to the Index Group, the major sponsor of South, for their long-term support of the club and grassroots rugby. Now, as the light seems to go a bit darker here, boys, we need to start seeing Bond get back into this if they want to have any chance of holding their head high, with a good overhead catch there by Harley Fox, showing his AFL skills right there.
That's it.
Nigel Genia gets it out to Reece Van Eck, the youngster. Good, strong carry there. With Smitty Teller coming into the line and just dropping it in behind with the grubber. Again, and Vinny Quigley putting a hand up and dropping it into touch. That pretty much sums up Bond's afternoon thus far, doesn't it, boys?
You're exactly right, J-Ball. I think it does sum up Bond's afternoon. Just that bounce of rugby ball is just dangerous. And with the big wingers coming through at pace, you know, it's been dangerous all afternoon.
As we see Van Eck with the throw. Hello Fanua catching with the left hand, but being allowed to play on. Harley Fox, good, strong run from the big man up in the middle of the field as Genia burrows in and gets it out to Hatsis, who drops it infield to Reece Van Eck with the big run. As Jake Simeon
Or sniper. The old sniper.
falls over himself. And here we see Sam Von Blankensee taking the settler. With Genya floating it out to Harley Fox, who gets it out to Jar McGurnoffer, who gets chopped low. And Alex Hatzler stepping into the 10 channel. Good to see the big man looking to show his skills. Halai Whenua with the looper. Here we go. Wonga Vulungi. Good tackle by Pearce, by Fitzgerald, and Joey Fiddock gets pumped over the sideline. Boys, as we see South going with the looping quick line out. As we see Tarsi in midfield, getting the ball away to Smitty Teller, coughing it up.
Boys, South have just been relentless this afternoon. Every opportunity, they've just jumped on it and they've taken advantage of it. So, look, from Takiri's side of it, he'd be very happy with every opportunity they've taken with both hands.
And I think if you're sitting at the top of the table, you really want to make a statement. And this has been one of those commanding performances that will hopefully send warning shots out to the rest of the competition.
Exactly right. We said it before the game. I mean, Bond are on the bottom of the table, but they are the only team. They were the first team, to knock off Uni at home in over 2 years. So they're no slouches. But I think missing Harry Nusafora has really let them down. No, nothing against Vinny Quigley, but Harry Nusifora's control of the game has really been lacking.
Well, you're right, Jay, but when you compare both halfbacks today, and we said before, with Genia, how he's controlled the game has been sensational.
As we see, here's Fitzgerald catching the bounce pass in this near channel here. As Corbin Keenan steps into half to third, to Ford.
Thank you, advantage.
To Harley Fox
13.
coming out of the line and making a good low chop there. As we see them Bond come down this near side. Corbin Keenan, as always, playing so hard and fast. Petrus Vandenberg plays out the back to Mitch Third, to Will Slipper, to Alex Murphy, cheeking and jiving. As we see Zach Moy behind the back pass. And Alex Murphy down the far side.
That's a great try.
And as we see Alex Murphy picking up a brace.
That's tried today, boys.
Here in the South clubhouse, we've got all the South supporters losing it. Mate. As we see Bond do a South to South, eh?
Alex Murphy will be walking on thinking, boys, how hard is it?
Yeah, right. Why don't you just do that every time? Why don't we just score off the first play every time? Yeah, that's so much easier.
It doesn't matter who you are watching a front rower or a front rower passing that ball. It is one of the best
it's
sights in
sexy
rugby.
stuff, isn't it? Here we go. One front rower to another front rower, and Alex Murphy jinking on the outside as we see Zach Moy up against Halai Whenua, drop the ball out the back, and Halai Whenua, he knew he saw something special and just let Alex Murphy trot on in.
Great try.
And then we're going to see Will Slipper step up for the shot at goal. No, Mitch Third. Being selfish, taking the shot at goal as per usual. And that's good to see, right? Look, I mean, Bond are getting smoked, we can see that, but they're staying in the game and at least they're still attacking.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Jay. Or at least you don't die in the game. You know, still 18 minutes to go. So it's pride as well at this stage of the game.
Mitch Third comes in, and it doesn't look like it's going to have the legs, does it? No, it doesn't, as it shaves the right hand upright. And again, as always, we have to give a special mention to Bruce Linton, Jaguar and Land Rover, major sponsor of Bond University, for their long-term support of the club and grassroots rugby. As we see Jaden Armanu with the kick-off, well caught by Petrus Vandenberg. As he's wrapped up by Blankensee, Vinny Quigley out to third, who plays it out the back, close to their own try line. And it looks like Corbin Kiernan's been locked up here by Tarsi. And Ralphie Ivalu effect a good choke tackle.
That's
turnover
great
ball.
That was a great read defensively from Ralphie there. Picked up that backdoor option and was quick to get on him. And then Tussie, like any good centre, just follows his 12 wherever he goes and be able to hold him up on the 22. So great attacking opportunity for South Tier.
But it's good to see Bond at least giving it a red-hot crack, yeah? I mean, obviously it's not ideal that they got held up there, but, you know, you're down by 30-odd. why not give it a shot?
And very frustrating as a player. Nothing seems to be working, and they're in your face and just relentless, like I keep saying.
Fine. Set.
Harley Fox gets it off short ball to Genya, who throws the cutout, and Corbin Kiernan nearly snaps it up.
Nice call. Nice call.
And remember, folks, for the first time ever in 2018, Queensland Rugby is bringing Premier Rugby fans all 4 games live and free. If you want to check out one of the other 3 matches, head to the QPR live stream hub at redsrugby.com.au. After this game, South First Brothers was kicking off at 4:20 after celebrating their Ladies' Day. So, Chet's, you're a Sunnybank man yourself. That'd be going off like a frog in a sock, wouldn't it?
Mate, I think it started very early this afternoon as well. So I'm not too sure if the girls will be able to see the game this Arvo. But, yeah, the women's team actually played on Wednesday night as well. So it's going to be a big day. They're actually out there raising money for mental health in Rugby Union in Brisbane. So Rugby Unite. So all money raised is going to go for mental health, supporting Brisbane rugby community.
And we saw last week as well the Rick Tyrrell Cup being fought out, as well as the Bunter Bowl out at East. You obviously have a big part in running that. It's great to see, you know, such a good community aspect getting out there, isn't it?
Mate, every club has been behind it 100%. You know, hopefully next year we'll all do a mental health round at some stage or something along those lines. But it's such an unfortunate thing out there that everyone, you know, there's a lot of us suffering from it, etc. But yeah, it's good to get the awareness out there as well.
100%. As we see Genya feed here at the back of the scrum, Edo Nabuli straight off the
Great shot.
scrum here, as it looks like Zach Moymoy's been able to effect the choke tackle. But they've gotten the offload away here.
Yeah, it's Mika Teller that's
to
on
Mika
there.
Teller. One teller for another teller, as we see Jake Simeon copping the cutout ball there, straight off the ruck. Genya out to another teller, and Samitsi taking the hit up. South are looking pretty ominous here with ball in hand as they throw the loop and cut out to Jake Simeon. Genya. Teller to Nabuli, who gets the offload away. To Teller down the far side again. As we see the cutout. Will Slipper gets the turnover ball as Mitch Third pins his ears back. He doesn't have the legs. As he gets the ball away to his support player. As we see Jamison Smith take the hit up.
No.
Jamison Smith again playing halfback there, out to Alex Murphy with a short ball to Vandenberg, who again has the short ball away to Joey Fiddock. First time we've seen him with ball in hand today, and Joey Fiddock with a hop, skip and a jump through the covering defence, gets the meat pie.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see exactly. We could go back in time if we could. All that every time Bond has put a few phases of pressure on and they've let the pressure valve off. Be interesting to see if we reversed it, because I think we'd have a much different game if Bond wasn't dropping the ball half the time, you know?
Yeah, funnily enough, it's easier to score when you don't knock the
That's
ball
exactly
on.
right.
But I think as well, as you can see here, Jamison Smith having to go into half, and it's just a bit of a disjointed passage of play here, but here it is. This is what Souths do so well. They're getting the hands free. Murphy to Vandenberg, to Joey Fiddock, the former Sunnybank man himself, the absolute speedster, getting in and getting that try there. So, Chets, I mean, we know Joey Fiddock's got the pace. He's having to come in for his first game of the season at 12. They're missing Dan Boardman, who in the first few rounds for Bond has been really good. You know, do you think having him he might be a bit raw and they haven't really been able to help Mitch Third a bit out? Or?
It's a bit of a baptism of fire, isn't it, really? So you probably want someone with a bit more experience there at 12 at this time of the game. But, yeah, even as you said, probably one of the first times we've called his name in the tap.
100%, as we see the kick-off there by South. Well fielded by Ryan. Menzies on that left wing. Vinny Quigley clears it out to Mitch Third, and it looks like they're trying to do what South do, as they drop the grubber through, but he spilt the beans as Jaden Narmanu wrapped up by his fellow Red in Alex Murphy. As here we go, Edo Nabuli with the little offload there to Ralphie Yavalu, who rolls, and he's a man on fire, not held. Keep going, son, as we drop the ball in behind. Nigel Genia, I need a breath. As Edo Nabuli comes through, but a bit too long, and Vinny Quigley put the ball down because Edo Nabuli's huge and he'll smash her. There we go, boys. 22 there. What do you reckon? Try and keep it short, get the ball back, mate, as well with 11 minutes to go.
Definitely.
Yeah,
You definitely have to look for a little cheeky restart and then just get the ball in play. And poor Eto, hands on hips, walking back. He's probably asking again, why'd you? You probably thought Maury was on that wing.
Look at him. He's taken in the big ones in backfield there, as we see Pierce Fitzgerald with the contestable kickoff. And Hello Fanua spills the beans as we see Jefferson Smith get it out to Ryan Menzies with a good covering tackle by Omori Wangavulungi there. As Corbin Keaton goes into halfback with Ty Ford playing 10, getting it out to Zach Moi Moi, the big fresh sub.
9 offside.
As he's called Nigel Genia there, has Cam Foley. And Ty Ford pointing to the touchline there. Cam Foley's had a really good game, I reckon, at reffing this one. He hasn't had to do too much, obviously, but when it comes to Premier Rugby, a lot of the time, less is more.
Oh, exactly right. I think it doesn't matter who you talk about as a referee. If they're not involved in the game as much, it's a great contest. And players appreciate that as well, not also being micromanaged by the referees. Would you agree with that?
No, I agree. You just like to let the game flow and let the boys decide the outcome as opposed to, penalties.
As we see Alex Murphy shaping up for the line out here. Cullen Ball taking it. Ty Ford peeling off. Grabbing sideways and getting to a metre from the Magpies line as they come piling in. As it looks like Will Slipper tries to take the quick pick and go. As they offload short ball here, latch on, pick and go. And it looks like, is it Zach Moi Moi is held short. As Ty Ford goes in. Knocked backwards, it seems, by Cam Foley. And it looks like a try there to Bond. They're coming away, boys. It looks like they've got coming in with a wet sail.
Well, they are, and just a real testament to their bench coming on and really adding some real good value there. And I think that's always the tough part when you're south and you're far by so much, is when you bring on, I guess, and give the bench players a bit more time, that some of these can kind of happen. But you can't fault them. They're not going away, are they, Bond?
No, that's exactly right. And the front rowers club especially, scoring tries left, right and centre. And, 58-34, at the end of the day, even though the Q's in the rack for South, but 34 points. I don't think ET will be very happy with that. No,
you'd think he and Brett McConey, obviously, coming back into the mixer now, they'd be spewing in regards to the fact that they've had 34 against them in 70-odd minutes of footy. So, but, I mean, this is uncoachable stuff as well, right? This is what Jeeps do very well. Souths tend to do it pretty well themselves defensively, but it looks like Bond just the pick and go, able to get the front foot ball. And as we said, their forwards have really shaped up well against what is a huge Souths forward pack. As they just come strolling up here, they've got time to burn here to the Magpies. And as they kick to the right-hand side, right in front of the ladies, as you would. As Jamison Smith drops the pill backwards, the play's on here, wrapped up, staying in the contest. So Ty Ford takes the pill here. Vinny Quigley comes into play half, out to third. And a great grass-hunting tackle by Jug Ernhofer. But Vinny Quigley up through the guts, sees the space out wide, and Alex Murphy with the pop ball goes to grass and stymies any thought of attack. But here comes Corbin Kiernan. The man with the perpetual motion just absolutely keeps going, and Ryan Menzies locked up here by Halai Fanua and pushed out. Boys, Corbin Kiernan in a backline going backwards has been awesome all game, and you can see it there again. He's an absolute trier.
It's really come to life, and the only shame is that they've left it to the last quarter to play some footy, isn't it, Chetsy?
Oh, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's one of those things where just getting those opportunities now with everyone's a bit tired, but he's done really, really well.
As we see Teller dropping it out to Havalu, who drops it on the toe to Edo Nabuli. With the offload to Mika Teller.
Tell him you're dreaming, boys.
Oh, Paulie B, take it away. That's good stuff.
I'd really like to look at the, they've not really kept the stats on how many tries come off kicks there today, so it's been quite interesting.
And you can see it's actually been something that South have been trying to utilise. They're actually trying to dink it in behind, as we're just getting some word here from around the traps. Out at Hugh Courtney Oval, University are only up 14 points to 13. And out at Yoku Road, Jeeps are up 29-22. If it's anything like this, they've probably only got less than 10 minutes to go. And it looks like play has kicked off out at Sunnybank as well. So be sure to tune into that match after this. As we said, they've only just kicked off, so you've got plenty more of QPR rugby to come. But as we see here on the replay, Ralphie Avalu on the toe, dropping it to Edo Nabuli. And what did you say, Paul Levine? Telling him he's dreaming. That's good stuff.
That's it. And just got a quick message there from Big Samu up in Yapoon there, Samu Karevi, the South man himself, saying that if he didn't have to do a promo up here, he'd be strapping up the boots, especially because it's Ladies' Day.
What boots though? The RM Williams?
I think that's what he was talking about. He was talking about rugby boots.
Or the knee highs.
yeah. Knee-high cowboy boots. Good stuff.
I didn't say that, Samu. Sorry, that wasn't me.
He absolutely loves it, Samu.
Samu, you've just taken pressure off Wangavulangi there, but I'm going to put it on him because he's just dropped what is probably the worst kick you'll see all year. He's absolutely shanked the bludger there from the sideline. Missed it by an absolute mile. As we see, we've only got about 4.5 odd minutes to go here, and Bond down 34 points to 63. Big numbers here, boys, but it has still been a very entertaining game, hasn't it?
Yeah, 97 points scored today. If you were getting $1 for every point, you'd be all right this afternoon.
You'd have to say so. As Wangavulangi takes the kick off, and Genya just punts a wounded duck straight into the third row here at Ladies' Day. So, boys, we see here it is Ladies' Day, Paulie B, but you can also see a lot of old heads. They obviously get in the mixer as well. It's a very good family club here, isn't it?
Mate, it is, and you see a lot of families in and around the club come Ladies' Day. Actually, anytime there's an event there, it's well supported by all the members, and you get a lot of, when you're going well, you get a lot of the old boys come up and tell you how well you're going, but if you're not going too well, you get a few pointers for free.
Exactly, as you see Murphy with the line out, and again, that just sums up Bond's day, unfortunately, just switching off.
It really does.
And it's tough to see. Vinny Quigley, he's been playing quite well, but he's just been a bit off the pace. I think it's just been a bit quick for him at the back of that, at the back of the ruck and so on. And he seems to be just getting caught by this voracious Souths defence.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
As we see South with the speed here, as Genny comes down this blind side, as you would with Wangavulangi. And there we go. There he is, Vinny Quigley, making the tackle. Good stuff, young man. You can see they're obviously trying to work this near side here with Wangavulangi, as you would.
Anytime you're just looking to get the ball in his hands, and as a front rower, you just hope he makes it. You just stay there on halfway.
As we see Ty Ford again, the man most likely in the line out. Third with the short ball to fit off. With Menzies coming from the blind side. Short looks to shape up the fullback there, but brought down well in cover defence. As Corbin Kiernan moves in with the pick and go. Vinny Quigley, quick ball out to third. Unfortunately, a little bit behind him as Joey Fiddock drops it inside to Jamison Smith. It's Quigley again out to Will Slipper, the man back on the field. Taking to Settler. As Kiernan to Murphy, to Ty Ford, back into Ryan Menzies. So they look to slow it down a little bit with the long pass out to Will Slipper.
Roll away.
Quick tap here, boys. Oh, he's done well there.
Take the quick tap anyway, wouldn't you? As we see Vinny Quigley shaping up with the quick tap. Good stuff. High energy footy. Here we go. Mitch third. Gets it out to Vandenberg. Playing out the 12 channel. Good tackle by Teller as we get an offload away. As we see the counter up coming in from the Magpies. but it looks like Bond have been able to get that pill back on their side. Will Slipper with the pick and go. He's isolated, knocks it backwards. As you see Ty Ford having to go into half. As we see Sam Von Blackensee locking up that choke tackle. And Cam Foley has called a maul. And it looks like the Magpies are going to stymie this attack for Bond once again.
Boys, that's game.
And as we see Cam Foley calling game right there, boys. So we see the final score wrapping up 63 points to 34 in favour to Souths over Bond. Boys, we've seen a fantastic game of footy and it's been an absolute ripper of a match. For you guys, what was your highlight for the match today, guys?
Thanks, Matt.
But I just think it was just that attacking prowess of Souths, especially off counter-attack or turnover ball. But they just made, they really made the Bond boys pay there.
Sorry, J-Boy, I totally agree. Opportunities, South took every single opportunity today. Unfortunately, Bond, exact opposite, didn't take the opportunity, and hence the scoreline of 97 points for the day.
Yeah, look, it was a high-scoring affair, and it was good to see. But for you guys, look, you guys get to choose who's man of the match. Chets, who do you reckon's man of the match for today, mate?
Well, I can't even pronounce his name, so
That's
I'm going to give it a point.
But you can say it's really hard, and you got a special mention to Nigel Guinea because I thought he had a cracker today, but I think you can't go past Amori Wangavalangi. He had an absolute cracker and just turned some defenders and made them look pretty ordinary.
And that's the thing, right? Amori Wangavalangi, it is contagious. Amori Wangavalangi is usually one of the guys that does the individual stuff, but we saw today a few chip and chases. We saw him laying off the offload, so he had an absolute blinder. Again, we just have to give a very brief mention to our sponsors who support club and grassroots rugby. On the south side, we've got the Index Group. They are a major sponsor here, and they have been so for a couple of years now, so we thank them for their support of grassroots and club rugby. And on the other side, Bond's major sponsor, Bruce Linton Jaguar and Land Rover. So just as we're looking around the grounds, we've still got what looks like a couple more minutes out at YOKU Road, and it is 29 points all between the Doggies and Jeeps. The game has just kicked off out at OLDMAC Oval, and it looks like Brothers are up 12 points to 0. And out at HUGH Courtney Oval, Uni are up 21 to 13, and they are still playing, so you'd think there's only a couple minutes left to go there. So, guys, look, I've got to ask you guys, what did you think of today's game? It was an absolute barn burner, despite the high scoring, wasn't it?
But it really was, and I think you could see easily there that South put the cue in the rack quite early, and then the Bond. They just came to life, the Bond boys, and they really played really well in their last quarter and piled on the points and showed what they could do when they hang on to the ball without any mistakes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I just seeing those points come on. My highlight of the game was down the right-hand side, Murphy scoring in the try, 25 metres out, mate. Nothing better than a forward running that yarn.
Oh, it was an absolute ripper, and we've just gotten word that West look to have scored a try in the corner against Jeeps. We're just getting confirmation now. We'll keep you guys posted. And he's awarded it. West, Nicholas Dongi, the 7th specialist, has scored a try in the corner to put the Doggies up 34 points to 29 with a kick to come. And you'd think there's not much left to go. As a doggy myself, that gets me pretty excited. So we'll have a quick look now into round 7 around the park. Just real quick, actually, we've got Norths have just scored as well out of HUGH Courtney Oval, so it's looking like it's potentially going to be 21 points to 20. Let's jump forward to next week's games. As we've got it up on the screen, obviously we've got a bit of a mistake there. It's meant to be Bond University against Sunnybank Chets. That's going to be a big game despite Bond going down this week.
Oh, yeah, I think both teams' last few weeks have been a bit lax on the defensive side, so the boys really need to both aim up on their defence, obviously.
And for you, Paulie B, we've got South going up against Jeeps, right? We've seen South absolutely smoke Bond today. Jeeps potentially going down here in the last minute. That one will be an absolute ripper out at YOKU, won't it?
But it will. And the old foe, Jeeps, they'll never go away. And the boys have been on the end of a couple of big scores against them in recent times. So I expect that to be a real humdinger come next week. And I believe it's Jeeps Ladies' Day as well.
And that always goes off as well. We know that. They love it out there at 4:06. So now out of David Wilson Field, coming off the bye, and prior to that, picking up the bunt, retaining the bunter bowl and getting the Rick Tyrrell Cup, obviously, against Sunnybank. East are playing host to Norths. Norths potentially, from what we can see here, are down by 3 points with a couple minutes to go. They could get up over the Students, but what are your thoughts on that one there, Chet? You know, Chet's like, we've got East playing really well, but Norths are getting back into it as well.
Oh, look, East probably didn't want to have the bye this week. I think the momentum from last week's game was really, really strong, hitting 40-odd points against Sunnybank. But as we see against North, they're coming home with a wet sail. So, mate, that's going to be another close game next week. Couldn't pick that one.
And then we've obviously got the Western Derby as well. Uni versus West. My club, the Doggies, they're going to be out for revenge after getting smoked by them in the first round last season. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. It's always a tight one when they take on the Students. But, boys, I want to thank you guys for joining us. It's been an absolute ripper as we round out this round 6 fixture between Souths over Bond, 63 points to 34. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week.